Welcome to the Maryland Means Business Podcast. I'm Cal.
And I'm Chessie. And Cal, before we even get into the rundown, I have to ask, did you build a countdown clock for Third Eye Comics somewhere in your spreadsheets?
I did not build a countdown clock, Chessie, but I appreciate the confidence. Though for the record, their 9th Maryland location opens this Saturday in Glen Burnie. So if you wanted to build one, this is the week to do it.
Noted. Filed away for Saturday. Okay, what have you got for us today?
3 stories. Fair warning. One's about the government, one's about cybersecurity, and one has a number that's going to make your eyes water.
Chessie's rule stands, Cal. Biggest number goes last.
Wouldn't dream of breaking it.
You say that every single time, and then you sandbag the wildest story for the very end anyway.
It's not sandbagging, it's pacing. There's a difference, and I will die on this hill.
Noted, for the record. All right, let's start light. Cal, what is Maryland's government up to now?
So this one sounds wonky, but stick with me because I think it says something bigger. Maryland just became the first state in the country to publish something called an LLMS.txt file on its official website. And it's still the only state that's done it.
Okay, translate that for those of us who didn't grow up reading robots.txt files for fun.
Fair. Think of it as a roadmap built specifically for AI chatbots. When an AI tool crawls maryland.gov looking for information, this file tells it where the accurate current information actually lives and steers it away from stuff like emergency alerts or temporary banners that shouldn't get treated as permanent fact. One of the state's engineers described it as, quote, air traffic control for bots.
I love that phrase. It's a good one. And here's why this isn't just a cute IT project. Maryland's website is doing 40 to 50 million AI crawler requests a month. About 6 million of those are tied directly to chatbot queries. People, and increasingly their AI assistants, are already asking Maryland.gov questions constantly. This file just makes sure the answers coming back are the right ones.
Who's actually behind it?
David Holmes, Senior Director of Engineering for the state. He kept it humble too. His quote was basically, "We're just doing our part to make sure AI can get the most relevant information at the time."
Does this open the door to AI just making stuff up about Maryland services anyway, or does it actually solve that?
It doesn't solve it completely, but it's aimed at exactly that failure mode. Chatbots trained on outdated or unofficial pages hallucinate policy details all the time. Pointing them at one curated official source doesn't guarantee accuracy, but it gives them a much better shot at getting it right.
Real talk for owners listening. Does any of this actually apply outside of state government?
Kind of, yeah. It's the same instinct behind making your own business website AI-friendly. If you want a chatbot recommending your business accurately when somebody asks it a question, having a page that's clearly organized and easy to crawl already helps you show up right in an AI answer, not just a Google search.
So, a state government IT project accidentally handed small business owners a free tip.
Basically, yes.
Here's my take. This sounds tiny until you realize every business in Maryland essentially needs residents, regulators, and now robots to find accurate information about permits, licenses, and taxes. If the state's own site is feeding bad information to an AI chatbot, that's a headache for everybody downstream.
Right. And 21,400 requests for that LLMS.txt file alone over just 90 days tells you this isn't theoretical. Something out there is already reading it, constantly.
Maryland got there first. I'll take it.
All right. Story 2, and this one's got actual founders in it, Chessie. You're going to like this one.
Now we're talking.
Howard County Economic Development Authority runs the Cyber Howard Accelerator. 12 weeks, guest speakers, mentorship, the full startup bootcamp treatment built specifically for cybersecurity companies. The 3rd cohort kicked off in April with 7 companies: Artemion, Cypher, Cyber USA, Nunsys, Fanium, River, and Vigil Vector.
Nunsys. We've talked about them before, the Spanish cybersecurity company that set up shop at the Maryland Innovation Center.
Good memory. Same ecosystem, different program this time around. Demo day was last Thursday, July 16th, and the top prize, $3,000, went to Cypher.
And here's the part I love. Cypher's founder isn't even from here. Andrew DeFeo is based in Philadelphia. He came all the way down to Howard County for this.
He did, and his quote about it was pretty telling. He said the program brought in a lot of specialized resources that help a cybersecurity company, and he didn't have to spend a lot of time explaining what his startup even does. People already got it.
What about the rest of the cohort? Anybody else worth watching?
A few. Artemion and Cyborg USA went through the same 12 weeks side by side with Cypher, along with Fanium, River, and Vigil Vector. Cypher just happened to be the one that closed the show on demo day.
What's Howard County's edge here anyway? Why not Baltimore or D.C.?
Honestly, I don't know the full answer, and the article doesn't say. What I do know is the results. 7 companies went through a real 12-week program, and the founder who won the top prize wasn't even from Maryland to begin with.
That's the whole case for these regional accelerators, right? You're not just funding local founders, you're pulling in outside talent who could have built their company anywhere, and they chose Maryland instead.
And Howard County isn't stopping at demo day either. HCEDA is already planning a 6-month cyber growth program for fall 2026 for Maryland-based companies who want to keep building past the launch phase.
I like that it doesn't just end at the ribbon-cutting moment. A demo day is fun, but the 6 months after is where a company actually lives or dies.
Agreed. My take, Philadelphia's loss, Howard County's gain. Keep doing this.
Keep doing this.
Okay, big number time.
Wait, that's my line.
Jesse's rule, Jesse's line. Maryland companies raised $460 million in venture funding in the second quarter of this year. That's a 189% jump over the previous quarter.
That's not a small jump, Cal. That's a cannonball.
It's a cannonball because of one deal, a $380 million round for a nuclear energy startup called Blue Energy, building small modular reactors.
For anyone who doesn't spend their weekends reading energy trade publications, remind us why a nuclear energy startup gets everybody this excited.
Big picture, small modular reactors are one of the bets a lot of the energy industry is watching closely right now. I won't pretend I've got the engineering details memorized, but I can tell you the size of the check Maryland just landed for one.
And Maryland just wrote one of the biggest checks in the country for it.
$380 million for one company.
If you're a Maryland founder in energy or deep tech, that's the kind of number that gets you a meeting you couldn't get last year.
Exactly. A check that size doesn't just fund one company. It tells every other investor in the country that Maryland deals are worth flying in for.
Okay, but you said nuance earlier. What's the catch?
The catch is Baltimore specifically didn't share in this boom. The Baltimore region raised $55.9 million across 21 deals in the second quarter, actually down 26% from the first quarter, and below the roughly $128 million quarterly average Baltimore's put up since 2023.
So it's a tale of two Marylands right now.
A little bit. Elsewhere in the state, life sciences kept it interesting too. Secretome Therapeutics raised $30 million, and Pearl Diagnostics raised $11.1 million.
What are people in Baltimore's venture scene actually saying about the gap?
One quote that stuck with me from Chris College at TCP Venture Capital: "We're not doing as many AI transactions in Baltimore as the rest of the country. That's a real, honest gap versus other tech hubs right now."
But there's an optimistic read, too. Lou Cooper at Latimer Ventures put it this way: "We are literally raising money from outsiders to bet on local founders." That's Baltimore's version of the exact story Howard County just told us. Outside money and outside believers betting on Maryland talent.
Here's my take. Nuclear energy and small modular reactors are about to be one of the most important bets in the entire country, and Maryland just landed one of the single biggest checks written for it this quarter. That matters, even if it didn't land in Baltimore specifically.
Agreed. And Baltimore founders, if you're listening, the outsiders are circling. Might be a good time to make some noise.
That's the rundown. An AI roadmap nobody else built, a Philadelphia founder who came south for cybersecurity, and a $380 million nuclear bet that just rewrote Maryland's venture numbers.
Before we let you go, 2 quick things.
First, since we just spent an entire episode talking about AI reading government websites and AI reading a venture deal, seems like a good moment to mention. This show itself is made almost entirely with AI, and we're genuinely picky about which AI we use.
We use tools from companies that pay their own way, covering the energy and grid costs their data centers actually use, using water-efficient cooling, instead of quietly pushing those costs onto local households and small businesses.
Which is basically the same philosophy as our sponsor, Maryland Smart Energy. Their tagline is Smarter Buildings, Smarter Bills, and they help Maryland businesses cut their energy costs and their energy impact through utility-funded programs, nothing out of pocket.
Right now, through September, that includes HVAC tune-ups at no out-of-pocket cost, fully funded by Empower Maryland. You're already paying for that through the Empower Maryland line on your utility bill. Maryland Smart Energy just makes sure you actually use it before summer's over.
Find them at mdsmartenergy.com. Responsible AI, responsible energy. That's both ends of this show.
Every claim we made today is sourced and linked in the show notes, including exactly where that $380 million figure came from.
Speaking of pacing, Chessie, I believe I successfully saved the biggest number for last today.
You did. I'll allow it. Just this once.
We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and now YouTube, if you'd rather watch us argue about small modular reactors on camera.
And head to marylandmeans.business for the newsletter, so you get all of this before we even hit record next time.
And don't forget, Third Eye Comics' 9th location opens Saturday in Glen Burnie, if you need weekend plans.
And remember, Maryland means business.